YouTube, how are you now? So FragPunk just released on Steam, PC, and console, so you know what that means. Time for another time to kill chart, TTK chart. So basically what I did is I gathered all the stats from in the game for all the weapons, so you have all your weapons here separated by each weapon type. So you have shotguns, submachine guns, assault rifles, light machine guns, marksman weapons, sniper rifles, secondary weapons, and your melee weapons. So you have each type of gun, the crouch speed, run speed, sprint speed, aim down sight time, sprint to fire time, magazine size, penetration, rate of fire, and then your damage per second based on the damage values for your head, body, and limb, and for every range, so 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters, all the way out to 60 meters. So these are all the stats here. And then we have the time to kill chart here. So this is going to be your time to kill in milliseconds. So these numbers here are your theoretical time to kill, the fastest time to kill possible if you hit every shot at the fastest fire rate possible in milliseconds. So obviously if you're missing shots due to recoil control or enemy movements or whatever else, you're not going to be getting these numbers, but this is your theoretical fastest time to kill possible. So over here is the breakdown of how it works out. So your fastest time to kill is going to be in red. The second fastest, so within 50 milliseconds of the fastest, is going to be in orange. Within 100 milliseconds, it's going to be yellow. Within 150, it's going to be light green. Within 200, dark green. Within 250, light blue, so on and so forth, all the way down to 950 millisecond plus. So not many of those, but ideally you're going to want red, orange, yellow. Those are going to be the most competitive within whatever range or body type you're hitting there. So I've done the shotguns separately because obviously they're going to be a little bit different. The shotguns are basically either one shot or not one shot, so it's based on how many pellets you have. So the meat maker has 11 pellets per shot, and then the boom broom has 8 pellets per shot. So these numbers here are just basically how many pellets you're going to have to hit at these ranges. So this is your damage values and then how many pellets. So basically I just marked the one shot potential. So under 11 pellets for this gun is going to be one shot out to 10 meters no matter where you hit them, and then only headshots out to 25 meters, and then the boom broom only headshots out to 10 meters. Beyond that it's going to take two shots to get a kill, but this one's full auto whereas this one's bolt, so going to be easier to follow up your shots with the boom broom, whereas the meat maker has better one shot potential, but then if you don't get that one shot you're probably in a bit of trouble there. And then I compared the submachine guns with the assault rifles and light machine guns and marksman weapons all together because there's not that many weapons, so it's a little bit easier to compare them. And they kind of compete with each other, whereas sniper rifles are a little bit different. So I guess we're just going to go through weapon by weapon. So the clamp down's obviously going to be your fastest killing gun to the body up close because it has the fastest fire rate, 1091 rounds per minute. But beyond that, it's not the greatest. So at longer ranges, it's not that great. But within 20 meters, it's still really good. But then if you're hitting limbs, it kind of penalizes you a bit there. And then the headshot potential is not that great either compared to some of the other guns. But definitely going to be your best bet up close to the body. The Mad Dog S, it has a silencer. So some of these guns have like special traits to them, and that has a built-in silencer. So it's decent actually. Pretty much any range as long as you're hitting the body, and then not too bad on the limbs at close range, but then long range, mid to long range, not that great if you're hitting limbs, but it's still pretty good if you're hitting the body. And then headshot potential is still not the greatest compared to some of the other guns, but it does lower the time to kill, so it's faster time to kill if you're able to mix in some headshots. So pretty good gun overall. Definitely the more versatile SMG compared to the clamp down, whereas clamp down is only good up close, not that great medium to long range. And you have your assault rifle, so the discipline is decent in the mid-range as long as you're hitting the body, but it does penalize the limbs pretty harsh. And then the headshot potential is not as good as the fever, so the fever is probably going to be your better overall assault rifle, even though it does have a lower rate of fire. It has better time to kill potential to the limbs, better time to kill potential with the headshot, so the headshot's going to be better for getting a lower time to kill if you mix in headshots. And it's still pretty competitive with the discipline and to the body, so requires a little bit more accuracy, but definitely more versatile there. So pretty good gun overall. It's kind of crazy that the Mad Dog SMG outranges it though to to the body. And then you have your light machine guns here. So the Ghost Pepper has really good headshot potential. Can get very fast time to kill to the head, but body shots pretty bad compared to the other guns. But this gun has a fire rate increase, so the longer you fire the gun, the faster it fires. So it starts at 600 and ramps up to 800. I'm not really sure how many shots it takes to get to that 800, so it really depends if it's going to be good or not, because at 800 rounds per minute, it's one of the best guns, if not the best gun, at pretty much any range, whether it's body or head or limbs. But if it takes quite a few shots to get to that 800 RPM, it's not going to be that very useful unless you're hanging back behind your teammates and just doing cleanups in the beginning and fighting multiple enemies to get to that 800 fire rate. But depends. So 600 rounds per minute, it sucks. 800 rounds per minute is the best. The in between, not too sure. And then you have the My Way light machine gun. So it's decent mid range to the body. Pretty good headshot potential as well, but then penalizes pretty hard for hitting the limbs. And then beyond 40 meters, not that great either compared to some of the other guns, but decent. And then you have your marksman weapons. So these are actually pretty good. The Bad Reputation is the only one that has the one-shot headshot potential out to 15 meters. Then beyond that, it's going to be 2 shots and then 3 shots to the body. Bad Moon's 2-shot always to the head, but still pretty fast time to kill, just doesn't have that one-shot headshot potential, and then 3 shots to the body, even the limbs. So it's a lot more forgiving to the limbs compared to the other guns, which is opposite what you would think. I would think the marksman rifles would require more precise aim to be good, but that's not the way it works. So they don't penalize you at all for hitting the limbs compared to the body. Same time to kill whether you're hitting limbs or the body. So a lot more forgiving than some of the other guns that penalize you for hitting the limbs, where you would think that would be the opposite, but that's just the way it is. So, and then you have your sniper rifles. So yeah, the Bad Moon also has a silencer built into. Then you have your sniper rifles here. So the High Life has a burst if you hip fire. So when you hip fire, it's a 3-round burst, which allows you to get a one burst kill potential anywhere to the body out to 10 meters, and then to the head and the body at any range. But if that 3-round burst has any type of spread to it, you're probably not going to be able to hit all three bullets at medium to long range. So depends if there's spread or not. If there is spread, then it's probably not that great beyond close range. But then the standard, High Life, and the Resolver, all one-shot headshot at any range, and then the Resolver has one shot to the body out to 15 meters, and the High Life has a one shot to the body out to 10 meters. So Resolver is a little bit more forgiving in the one-shot body shot potential, but it does have a slower fire rate, so 40 rounds per minute compared to 61 rounds per minute. So pretty big difference there. You're able to follow up a lot faster with the High Life. So you can see if it takes 2 shots, it's under 1,000 milliseconds, so under a second to take 2 shots, where it's a whole second and a half for the Resolver. So it takes quite a bit of time to get that second shot off. It's still not good. 984 is terrible, but definitely a lot faster than 1500. So Resolver is the better one-shot potential, and the High Life's more forgiving if you have to follow up your shots, but still pretty rough if you have to hit 2 shots compared to any of the other guns. And then you have your secondary weapons here. So they have some weird guns down here, like the Flasher, Blaster, Smoker. These are like grenade launchers that launch like flashes and smokes and incendiaries and stuff. So not really sure how that works. All the damage numbers are the same for them, so I just left it as how many shots it will take to kill with those damage numbers. But I don't know how those work. I haven't really played that much, but the regular secondary weapons are here. So you have your Cure-All, which also has that 3 burst hip fire. So this is how many shots it will take to get a kill. So it's always going to be at least 2 bursts, never going to be a 1 burst. It's 4 shots, where it takes a burst is 3. So be 2 burst here, 3 burst, 3 burst, 2 burst, 3 burst, 4 burst there. So I don't think it fires at 333 rounds per minute precisely within the burst and plus the burst delay. So that's going to require some testing to figure that out. But just how many shots it takes to kill with the burst. So the Cure-All regular, not great compared to the other handguns. So I just compared the secondary weapons with each other. So pretty slow time to kill compared to the fastest one, which is the Vicious. The Vicious has the fastest time to kill all around for any of them at any range, any body part. So has one-shot headshot potential up to 10 meters, but beyond that, it's still the fastest there, whereas Cure-All is not that great at anything really. And then it really sucks if you're hitting the limbs, so pretty bad there. And then the Cold Shoulder, it's the only one that's full auto, whereas the other guns are semi-auto, so some people might prefer full auto to semi-auto, but still not the greatest compared to the Vicious, but more competitive, so within 120 milliseconds there of 480, but then 220, 220, 320, so not as bad as the Cure-All, but still not as good as the Vicious unless you really need that full auto. And then you have your melee weapons here, so you have different damages for like slash and stab, and then it has a charge attack that you have to charge up. It takes like 1.5 seconds to fully charge, so you can get 150 damage in one-shot kill if you fully charge it, but if you don't fully charge it, it doesn't do enough damage to get a one-shot kill because enemy health is 150. And then you have your backstab damage, so a backstab is a one-shot kill with either one of those. But the range is pretty short, so 2.25 meters, 2 meters, and then the charge is 2.1 to 3.7 meters, so have to be pretty close to be able to actually land those melees, but that makes sense. They're melee weapons, you know. So yeah, that's it for all the time to kill there. Just helps me out to put these charts together to kind of see how certain weapons perform, to get the most out of whatever weapon I'm using, or to make better choices on which weapon I want to use for certain situations. So not that many guns to choose from, but makes it easier to compile these types of charts. So hopefully it helps you guys out. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything you want to see in these charts that would help improve them. If anything is missing from this chart that you think would be beneficial to put the time in to gather and put into this chart, that would be beneficial. But yeah. So yeah, the game is free to play on Steam. I believe it released on console too, so PlayStation and Xbox. So it's definitely worth checking out, but you gotta expect that free to play live service monetization in your face type stuff, because I believe the publisher is the same as Delta Force, and Delta Force was pretty in your face about the battle pass and all the daily unlocks and all that stuff popping up after every match. And same thing with FragPunk. I haven't played that much. I've only played a couple rounds of the respawn game modes, so like Team Deathmatch and Free-for-All, and I think they call it Shard Gathering, I don't know. So I only played a couple rounds, so I haven't really got a whole lot of time into it to figure out how the game works, so I really have no idea what I'm doing in the game. Like the abilities and stuff, I didn't really look at any of the abilities for the different heroes or whatever they call them, and then the shard cards. So the gimmick is the shard cards, which give you like abilities and stuff to change how the game works. So from what I've seen, there's like shard cards that increase like the head size, so it's like giant heads on the enemies, making it easier to headshot, or like snowstorms and crazy stuff like that. But I haven't really got into it, so I don't really know what's going on. I've died to all kinds of stuff that I had no idea what was happening. It's like waves of colors coming at me that just kill me instantly, or spawn into like explosions all around me, and don't really know what's going on. I'm just running around shooting, so it's going to take some time to get into it, but definitely worth checking out. It's free to play, so wasn't too bad. The gunplay was good from what I've experienced so far. I only tried a couple of the guns, and like I said, I only played a couple rounds, but gunplay felt good. The movement was alright. Felt a little slow, but there are some cards that give you like movement abilities. So I've seen some cards that give you like a dash or like a jump pad and stuff to move around the map faster and get in and out of situations faster. So those are probably going to be pretty useful. But like I said, I haven't really dove into all the specifics on all the shard cards and all the abilities for the operators or whatever they call them either. So only tried a couple of the guns too, so definitely going to have to check out some of the other guns, see how they perform based on this chart. But yeah, definitely check it out. Free to play. Give it a shot. Let me know if you like it or not. This definitely needs something new to play. I haven't really been playing hardly anything recently. Nothing's really been gathering my attention, so Delta Force fell off pretty quick. Just like the netcode and the desync and stuff just felt really bad for me. It felt like I was at least a half second behind the server every time. every gunfight felt like a coin toss. Like I felt like I was at a disadvantage pretty much in every gunfight. So not very enjoyable experience where you lose a lot of the gunfights you think you should win, even if you get the jump on them, but something's wrong with the desync or the netcode or something that makes it feel awful. So I stopped playing that pretty early on into the second season. So hopefully something catches my attention. I'll give this game a shot, see how it goes. But like I said, it's the same publisher as Delta Force, so if it has the same issues that Delta Force had, probably won't be playing very much. But definitely need something new. Something new and fun to play, you know. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.